This was while I was being the magic man.
What's the magic man?
Tiger King.
Oh, shit. See, I didn't watch the show, so I don't know. Do you want to talk about it? We could talk
I don't
about
mind
it.
talking about it. Evidently, someone's having an orgasm over in the corner. Like, I'm not sure. All right.
PJ's a big fan.
Okay, so Tiger King. I can probably better contextualize this. So what had happened was...
like before you get into it, just on layman's terms, did you just help them with internet marketing stuff, or was it more than that?
I got a little bit of a story.
Okay.
It's fun.
I'll shut up.
No. You're cool. You can ask questions. So what happened was we had some family friends, and the husband was about to inherit a decent chunk of change because he was old. He's from a family that's old money railroad, and we live in Illinois. He's like, I don't think I want to give that chunk of change away to the mafioso.
State. Yeah.
So he moved to Texas, and he moved into basically what was, it was like an armed gated community kind of thing. To give you an idea, it's like, you want to talk about like leveling up. Glenn Beck lived 2 doors down. Like when I was there, we would frequently hang out with his son-in-law and like the kids and all this stuff. Hanson, the rock group, was across the street. Every athlete you could possibly imagine was living there. It was $100,000 a year just to go play golf.
Wow.
And like all the golf carts had like, video systems. It was nuts. So the way this happened was, so he had always been fascinated by the ridiculousness that I did, especially the vampire site.
Okay.
And that's actually how this all happened. And what happened was, so he is now in his new place, meeting his new friends, and went on a golf outing. Late, nighttime golf kind of thing. Who's that real big golfer? I don't do sports.
Me neither.
Super famous guy. Anyway.
I don't know.
He was part of the thing.
John Daly?
John Daly.
Okay.
That's him. Yeah. So, I don't think he lived there, but he was there for this because, there was free whiskey, I believe. I don't know the full story on that part.
Yeah.
So he met a guy over God knows how many shots who lived in the area and become like violently wealthy through real estate. And he was in the process of acquiring the rights to the Tiger King brand through a guy named Big Juicy.
Okay.
Right. Now we get to the part where I said none of these people were acting.
Right.
So he wakes up the next morning, like peels open his eyelids, rolls over to his wife, Lisa, and goes, "You're never going to believe what I just did." And she's like, "What? Why? Why would you get involved in it? Do you even know what to do with it?" And he's like, "I don't have any idea." And so a couple days go by and I get a phone call. I'm sitting in a Costco parking lot and phone rings and it's Lisa. I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" And she's like, "Are you ready for the weirdest story you're ever going to hear?" And I literally told her, I'm like, "Listen, I'm willing to give you an at-bat with that, but you have to understand who I work with." I had just gotten off the phone not even an hour ago with a paranormal erotica author who would not shut up about Japanese tentacle porn. I'm like, "So you can step to the plate, grip your bat, but understand you have competition for that slot. And that's just today. Go." And she's like, "Wow, this is a tall order." I'm like, "Hey, you made your bed, now sleep in it."
Right.
Turned out it was interesting. So she's like, "What?" She opened with something I have to put on a business card, which is, "Listen, I don't really know what you do, but I do know that you do weird things on the internet with strange people." I said, yes, I do. And she starts to give me this breakdown. I'm like, "Okay, hold up. How deep into this are you?" I'm like, "Oh God. All right." Going through the questions that I would typically go through to get to the extent that she was capable of answering, because this was all new to them too. I'm like, "Yeah, I think we can do something with this. I got to talk to your boy." And so I talked to him, get them both on a, Zoom call. And I'm like, "First of all, WTF, Batman? Like, come on. Come on. Like, we've been wasted before and never had this, like, never went that far."
Right.
And so long story short, I put together a thing. We get the real estate dude on who's actually doing the thing. I kind of lay it all out and propose it to him. And they're like, "Yeah, cool, let's do it." I'm like, "Oh, that was not hard. Cool." And so I actually put a sunset clause in all this stuff where it's like, I will do this for 6 weeks. Because at that point, I've been doing this a long time.
Mhm.
And it's like you get to the point where you can kind of smell crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm doing this for the stories. Like, this is going to be, we're doing one for the grandkids. You know, it's like my grandfather was the Tiger King during the pandemic. So basically after that, we put this whole deal together and I get the keys to the kingdom. Like they hand me his Twitter account.
Mhm.
I log into his Twitter account and wow. I don't know if you know this. He was like flamingly gay.
I never watched the show. Like I said, PJ's the
Right. Joe Exotic was probably one of the most interesting humans I've ever experienced because he was like a mashup of characters that should never have existed. It's kind of like that song where they took Tool and put Taylor Swift to it, and I'm like,
The
why does this
mashup.
work? It works. It's weird. Like, you know, we're never getting together with like whatever, pushing something with Tool, and I'm like, what? Wow, okay. And that's what Joe Exotic's personality was. Like, he was a gun-loving redneck who was also flamingly gay and owned a zoo that, according to courts, like abused animals. I'm like, what is happening here?
Mhm.
You can't, like, you go down this road and it immediately goes right back the other way. And then I'm like, this is absolutely nuts. So I get his Twitter account. And the first thing that happens is I make one tweet. Just nothing about anything, just one tweet.
Mhm.
Well, he's been in jail for a long time at this point.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, activity. And I start getting these DMs from this one guy. And yeah, I don't know if you ever want to change the dynamic of a marriage while you're sitting in bed, get Joe Exotic's Twitter account and go, hey, I lost count at 9. How many piercings do you see? And she's like, what? But I'm not kidding you. Like, I finally had to message you. I'm like, hey, listen, I really appreciate it. I think the work that you've put into to look the way you look is absolutely phenomenal. That had to have been difficult, and I respect that.
All right.
At the same time, I am neither Joe nor into guys. And he's like, and immediately he like stopped. Oh my God, I am so sorry. I'm like, no, you're perfectly fine. In fact, great job, by the way. You should keep that up. You're gonna get laid lots.
All right.
It's just not with me. But it was just so funny to get like all of a sudden now you're experiencing this stuff. So I got that and Instagram, and his camera crew for whatever reason they were hanging on to like YouTube. But what we did was literally became Joe Exotic on the internet,
Okay.
behind the scenes.
So again, I never watched the show. Is this during the show, after the show?
The show
before?
came out in the very beginning of 2020. Yeah. And so it was like the biggest conversation on earth.
But when did you step in?
I stepped in after like the pandemic was just getting started.
So you're doing this at the same time. This is going on Netflix, right?
It's on Netflix, but it's already, so it like popped and crashed already.
Okay.
And so what they wanted to do is revitalize it.
Gotcha. And that's where
And
you
so,
came
yeah,
in.
so I put together a little thing. And I mean, from technical terms, I took it from reaching maybe like a passive 300,000 to like almost 8 million a week.
Jesus.
And so we did what I call shaking the tree, which is like, I have no idea what's out there, but let's find out.
Yeah.
And it like money fell out because within a couple days, literally, I think we brought in over $100,000 within, with what do you call that? Licensing rights
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So we got like, the t-shirt people and all these other people and everybody coming in, who then they pay up front and then they'll do a percentage of sales and stuff. I'm like, all right, this is cool. Let's do something else.
Mhm.
And so Trump's son mentioned offhand about Joe Exotic, and the press picked that up and asked Trump during a press conference, so would you think about pardoning Joe Exotic? And obviously, as a president, you got to be kind of careful with how you say it. Well, the lawyers who were working for Joe were like, oh, they smell blood in the water. They got a double-decker bus fully wrapped with Joe's face and Trump's face, drove from Texas to D.C.
Mhm.
with stops along the way. I think there was like a country music center. That big juicy guy was in it, his lawyers. And then the guy, my buddy, was on the thing. And during that whole time, we're literally like just, all we're doing is amplifying the social media signal at this point. And TMZ's dropping stuff like crazy because they got, they're all buddies and stuff like that. It was nuts.
Mhm.
Now, George Floyd.
Okay.
came into the picture. And, I'm like, okay, it's a story. I'm focused on other things. And next thing you know, Florida opens up first, right? Well, all this happened in Florida. Carol Baskin, who's like the evil antagonist of the story, who owned another zoo, and everyone thinks that she fed her husband to the tigers or whatever it was. Like, there's a story here. It's funny. But what happened was Joe was like absolutely antagonizing the living hell out of her. And that's how he actually ended up in federal prison, because he ran out of money defending himself in civil suits.
Gotcha.
And so when the federal thing hit him, he didn't have any money to defend. He had a public defender for that. And, he just got mowed. So Carol Baskin, because the courts were shut down, they were waiting for the verdict on like all the civil suits where he was messing with her and like, I don't know, whatever it was, copyright infringement. Well, they awarded her, she won the civil suits, and they awarded her Joe Exotic Zoo as compensation. So here we are, I'm sitting in Texas in this like gorgeous, massive kitchen with all these people. And I'm like, y'all want to say something right now? And then they're like, and it was funny. Everyone looks at me. They're like, oh, this is for you. I'm like, oh, is it now? Is this for me? Because now like George Floyd's like a big story. And I'm like, well, we got to be empathetic. We got to, but it's like, we're trying to give it time to like, we're thinking, okay, cool. News cycle. No, that is not what was happening. And I'm like, all right, well, we can't wait any longer. We got to do something because we're getting hit up by every major publication. What's your response? What's your response? And I'm like, all right. So I literally wrote a thing. I don't like lawyers. However, I have never been more grateful for the trifecta, like this literally antagonistic team of people, because I'm like, here it is. And they're like, well, can you? And then the people, ooh, can you edit and the thing? I'm like, I would love to. Thank you. What would you like this to say right here? And just, I'm absolutely like, we're cleaning this thing up, turning it into something. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, I went and did the thing I do on Twitter, and we put this stuff out, big press release, but we did it on a web page. Okay. And then there's a certain way that if you want to get reporters' attention, you want to do it on Twitter, it's no problem. And I'm thinking, okay, we're going to put this out at night. We're all going to go to sleep, right? And then the next morning, I'm going to see what happened, and if necessary, we'll execute, the other plan. Right. Turned out it wasn't necessary. So we wake up to basically a full voicemail box and email, everything, every single freaking thing. And they all had a similar kind of like, would you call it cadence, perhaps? Okay. And it kind of went like this. Did you say Carol Baskin's name in the same sentence as George Floyd? And I was like, nobody answer the phone. It's a trap. Don't do it. Don't respond. Holy crap. We're in a world of shit. Don't do it. And so we just let it, whatever it was. But what's great is, very quietly looking at this and going like, oh, okay, the big press thing that I wrote has now been published in every single publication on Earth, including National Geographic, because tigers.
No shit.
It's funny. But then that led to working with a bunch of C-list celebrities, putting together skincare lines, because the guy that owns the company that makes, I want to say 85% of the world's cosmetics and skincare down the road from the dude. So everybody lived there, and we're like, oh, let's do a thing. It was insane.
So this is
that was my 2020.
And this is after the divorce?
No.
Just prior?
Nope, because then when I got back,